What's up, you guys? I am Nia. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Y'all, I really wanted to talk to y'all because I just posted another video that I actually did a couple weeks ago, but I'm just now posting it. So I don't know when y'all gonna see this video. Y'all might see it in a couple days. But I don't know if you guys know about the Latruths. I know a lot of my my first 1,000-something subscribers came from that situation because I was speaking on it. Because it was she came out saying that she was abused and all of that stuff. So overall, it's just, I still kind of been keeping up with like the story and then things that have just been coming out about the Jezebel wife that she is. And this is what I'm saying. I am going to do a video about the Jezebel Ahab spirit, but this video is more so to talk about how these spirits get placed onto us. And y'all know, I've been mentioning it in several of my videos. I'm an advocate for child sex abuse victims because I was a victim. I was molested by another child. And for a long time, I didn't even realize that it was abuse. I mean, it happened very young. And when I went on my spiritual journey, God had me to, God had to get me away. He used my ex to push me away, to expose things about my mom, my childhood, for me to really awaken to why I was a broken little girl on the inside. Yes, I'm 29, about to be 30 in September, but I'm still suffering from a lot of little girl traumas from when I was that little girl, that hurt little girl who was just feeling alone, who had been taken advantage of. And I'm just realizing through this situation with them and through so many of us, because as I watch this girl and watch many of people, we're broken. And when you're broken, you have that Jezebel spirit, you have that Ahab spirit, because some of us have both. Some of us have, because it's two demonic spirits that is living within you. The Jezebel is the controlling side of it, the promiscuous side of it. Same with the Ahab. Ahab is a very weak spirit. If you suffer from, if you're a people pleaser, you have that. That's why I'm saying I literally have both spirits within me. Well, I've had both of them. There's residue from the both of them still on me. And it's just interesting how you can battle both, because in one stream, I was like a very controlling person, and I'm still letting up some of that control. And that was part of the reason why God sent me on my spiritual journey, is to reveal to me who I am, why I am the way I am, why do I move the way I move, why do I have the behaviors I had, why things have happened, like to really to show me who I am, because I didn't know. I wasn't aware that I was suffering from a lot of the things that I was suffering from. I had no clue. It took for him to move me across the country. I'm from Maryland, moved to Texas with my 2 small children. And it was during that season when he revealed to me that I had a narcissistic mother. I've documented the whole journey of everything. And it wasn't until he moved me away, until I finally was awakened to the type of family system I grew up in, with having a narcissistic family. And when he exposed to me that I was molested, because I remember the boy that it happened with. And, I don't remember, I talked about this in that video, but on this journey is when he told me, get on YouTube and make this video. Because at first I wasn't planning on doing all the stuff I talk about now. That was never in my plan. But God used me, and I've always been a truth teller. And this is why he's using me. He know I'm about integrity. I'm gonna stand on business. I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid to speak my truth. I'm not afraid to speak for the others that are scared to. And this is why he's allowed me to go through certain things. Like, I will never hate God for allowing me to get abused, for allowing me to go through all the things I went through, because it's through that, it's through my journey. Like, that's why I do me. I come up here with all my imperfections. I'ma always, you know, be a proud baby mama. I'm not gonna let nobody shame me and shun me, because it was in my calling. It was in God's will for me to be exactly where I am, to go through the exact situations I went through in my life, because it all led me to this point. It all led me to my purpose. And now I feel good that I know my purpose. I will never let society shun me and feel shame and guilt for any of the things I've done. None of that. Because for one, I've forgiven myself. God has forgiven me. I've forgiven myself, and God is working on me and through me. And through me, he's going to allow me to help many other people to be freed from any spirits that was on them that is holding them hostage to anything from the past. So that's why I really like speak on a lot of stuff. And this is why I encourage you guys, especially like if you were the black sheep of the family, if you were molested, I always tell you guys to speak up. God chose you. You were marked. You were chosen for a time such as this to be the spokesperson. He allowed you to go through everything you went through. He saw it all. He saw it all. And I did a video for y'all in that last video. It's not the last video, but it was called "Why Did God Let This Happen to Me?" or "Why Does God Allow Bad Things to Happen to Us?" And in that video, I explained to y'all that, you know, for one, he puts the adults in charge of us. And when the adults, and we, period, because even us now as adults, and this is what I'm gonna get more to, you know, as I go along in the video, he give us authority, and he give us the free will to put him first and to let him lead our life. And when we don't put him first, when we don't let him lead our life, it's easy for us to get off our narrow path and let the enemy trick us out our spot and get us off our narrow path, and now start doing things of the world, of the enemy, and fulfilling the desires that the enemy want for us, which will lead to our demise, lead to our children's demise. So when he put parents in position to parent, to provide and protect for their children, and we don't protect, we do a lot of providing, but we don't protect. We don't protect their brain. We don't protect any of their gateways to their soul. We don't protect it. We don't protect what they're hearing. We don't protect what they're watching. We don't protect what they're speaking. We don't protect our own gateway, what we're speaking to our children. We don't protect their emotions, their feelings, their sixth sense, the feelings. We don't protect their gateways. And this is how the enemy get to them. You know, when we leave our children, we bring people around our children out of desperation, loneliness, emptiness, unhealed traumas. We have so much trauma that we do not heal from. And when we have that, we'll bring that and pass it on to our children, because we have not put God first, and for one, ask God, why did this happen to me? A lot of us feel like, why did this happen to me? And you feel like, you know, maybe you're ashamed. That's why I say, don't be ashamed. I don't care how vile of an act that you did. I don't care what you did. You don't be ashamed. You own up to it. You take accountability. You take accountability for, you know, now what you did when you were doing it. And once you know better, yeah, it's your assignment to do better. And yeah, once you know better, God is going to hold you accountable. But a lot of times, the things that happened to us in our childhood, that had nothing to do with us. The things that we do now as adults, we have control over that. But still, as adults, some of us still don't even know why we do the things we do, why we move the way we move. It's because we have not truly built a relationship with God for him to show that. And this is why I say, as a chosen one, when he's calling you, especially if you was like the black sheep, because he marked the black sheep on purpose. He allowed you to be set apart. He allowed you to be scapegoated. Anybody who feels like they don't fit in, if you feel like you don't fit in nowhere, you don't fit in with friend groups, you don't fit in society, period, you just feel like you are set apart. You feel like you're different. You were the set apart one in your family dynamic. If you had a narcissistic family, 9 times out of 10, they always scapegoat one of the children. Maybe 2 of them, depending on how many kids it is. It's always a different one. And he marked you on purpose. This is biblical. This is biblical. Y'all got to look at the podcast. I don't even remember what it was called. Not my podcast, my playlist. of, you know, Black people. We are the descendants of the Israelites. Like, it's in the Bible. That's why when people, like, you know, question the Bible and stuff, I'm like, everything is in there. The marking, while we were marked, we're the chosen ones because we are the Black sheep. He marked us. He had them to, we were marked since birth. But marked since birth. And this is also why the enemy been on you since birth. The enemy knows, and his plan is to go against God and to get to the children while we're young. Because if he can get to the children while we're young, he can lead us off our narrow path for life. He can screw us up for life. If he can deceive and slither his way in like the snake he is, if he can do that and get to the children while they're young, steal their innocence while they're young, it's going to mess you up for life. It's going to have you carrying out all his demonic agendas like we do. When you've been abused, whether you've been neglected, whether you've been physically abused, any type of childhood trauma, you know, but especially like the sexual abuse and the abandonment, the neglect, that's done on purpose. It's done on purpose. Because, for one, he wants to get you off your narrow path because God chose you. You have a mission here, and it's to work for the kingdom of light, the kingdom of God. It's to work for the kingdom of God, and he knows that. So he wants to do everything he can to get you distracted with worldly things, but get you to be of the world, so that you're not of the kingdom and carrying out kingdom agendas that God wants us to carry out. Satan wants us to carry out demonic agendas. So this is why he'll get to the kids while they're young, because if you get to the kids while they're young, you mess them up for life. Look at us. Most of us that are screwed and broken women, the 304s that they say, the men are men that's killing us and doing everything. A lot of them are products of toxic childhood, severe, because we all have issues, obviously, but some have like Kate Thorne traumas that has been prolonged through all of their childhood. Some from the time they were born. Some of these people out here, before I get into that, that's why I always say, as the chosen one, he needs you to speak up. He needs you to use your voice. Some of us, our gift is literally our voice. Some people have other talents, but some of us, you were scapegoated. You were the black sheep because you were truthful. Sometimes you might have been one of the ones that was molested and you did speak up and you got shunned, and you got beat, and you got ostracized for that, for speaking up. So it silenced you. This is why people always tell me, shh, just keep it in the house. What goes on in the house, stay on in the house. Bullshit. Bullshit. That was a demonic agenda. Any parent that says that, demonic. Demonic. Because you're teaching your children to be silenced. And when it's necessary for them to speak up, they're not going to. And then when they act it out, because when you can't get it out, you act it out. It's going to come out. What goes in is going to come out. It's going to come out in your behaviors. You might not ever say nothing. So many of us, so many children have never spoke up and told what happened and who did it to them. Some don't remember it happening because you were so young. Some remember very vividly exactly what happened, but you just kept it in because you of fear of the unknown, because of the threats that the person may have made to you. So you've been silenced. And God wants you to now speak up. He wants you, because he allowed you to go through that for you to be a voice for the people that's coming underneath us. People, older people who may have never had the courage to speak up. He needs you. He needs you to be bold. He put it in you. He needs you to be bold and tell your story. He needs you to write that book. He needs you to start your survivor group. He needs you to build your tribe amongst other ones, because he needs you to save them. He needs you. It's some little girls, you know, and I can't wait till I'm able to like be in that position. Like, that's been my whole thing. Like I told y'all, I'm team kids' feelings matter. Don't silence the kids. Stop hurting the kids. We have to stop bringing people around our kids that act like they want us, act like they love us, but really they after you for your kids, you have to be careful. This is why, you know, in that other video I did about why we need to heal before we get into relationships, we have to stop with our own toxicity. We have to heal. We have to really do the inner work, because we don't know. We're passing on trauma. We're passing it on. Our parents passed it on to us, and we passing it on to them. We passing it on to them. Nobody really talks about the root to the chaos and demise of the Black family. It's way deeper than everything that these podcasts be talking about. Until you address them childhood wounds, and it make people uncomfortable, because it makes you have to hold your parents accountable. And a lot of us want to believe, and you know, it ain't that we want to believe, we know our parents provided for us, you know, for the most part. Some people, you know, some parents may not have, you know, because everybody have a different story, but we want to protect our parents. No, their job was to protect us, and they didn't. And when we hold them accountable, it doesn't mean that we don't love them. It doesn't mean that we're being disrespectful. It means simply holding our forefathers accountable, because of their actions and their sins is the reason that we're in the bondage that we're in. It's the reason that we have these vices. Is the reason that our kids are lost. Is the reason they're so angry. Is the reason we're looking for love in the wrong places. Is the reason our parents, their parents, like, because even when we go back, if I go back to my parent, she messed up because of her parents, and they messed up because of her parents, and the rest of the family, because it might not just be strictly the parents, but the family, the ones who were supposed to, the village. And everybody say it takes a village. It takes a village to protect them children. Not just to provide food, clothes, and shelter for them children, to protect the emotions of them children, to protect the private parts of them children, to not hush it and brush it under the rug and hide behind Christianity and hide behind religion. You can't hide. You can't hide, because God saw what happened. God saw what happened. And he allowed certain things to happen because, for one, he's going to use your test for your testimony. He's going to use your story to save millions of other families, millions of other kids. To show that's like a lot of your purpose. This is why I'm a big advocate for turning your pain into purpose. Like, that's why I'm going to always talk about child sex abuse. I'm going to always talk about toxic behaviors. I'm going to always talk about narcissistic parents. I'm going to always talk about God. I'm going to always talk about these things, because this is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about the kids. I'm passionate about protecting them. I'm passionate about having true, healthy parents for our children, not just standing in a two-parent household to show up to society as one way, but in a house your kids are dying and miserable inside. I'm going to always be an advocate for that, you know. But the main thing that I want to stress is protect your children's innocence. Protect your children's innocence. Stop being desperate for love, that you ignoring all the red flags of this guy, of this girl. Stop thinking that you can change them, and stop thinking that any and everybody love you just because they say I love you. That's the easiest thing to say, but it's harder to feel that. That's why we all out here looking for love in all the wrong places. We want to, it's something we're looking to feel. We tired of hearing I love you. You can feel when one loves you, but how they treat you. That's what love is a action. It's a feeling backed by an action. And if you're not showing that you love a person, they don't feel that love. You can buy them all the things that you want. So many parents think that they have done their job because they have bought you. And we wonder why now so many women can be bought. Because a lot of times that's all you ever got. That's the only love you know. You know love in the form of receiving monetary things. That's what you know. Even for me, all I knew, because I don't know now, I know more now. I know what love is because I have the love of God, and I know what true love is. I know what true love is now. Something that my father couldn't really show me. Something that my mother couldn't really show me. Something that no one could have really shown me. My kids show me, you know, but that's the reason why I was able to be bought, because having narcissistic parents, having a narcissistic partner, that's what they do. They do things to you, and then it's like, instead of them coming back and opening up, expressing on an emotional level, instead of them taking accountability for what they've done, instead of them spending time, like, they'll buy you. My dad, all he would do is send money. So I perceive men as someone who is supposed to spend money. And I still believe that you're supposed to spend money. Like, but now I know I expect more than that from my man. I'm expecting more than that. But yes, you are to provide. Men were created in God's image to lead, provide, and protect, and have dominion over the earth. Not just manipulate the earth, manipulate all of God's creation, manipulate it for your gain, but to truly pour and water the creation, to water your family, to pour into your family. It's our job as women to pour and nurture our family too. Nurture our man, nurture our children. You know, but I really I'm just taken aback by some of the things that I've just recently been seeing, and desperation for a man, desperation for a woman, because you have not dealt with your own emptiness. You're using other flesh to fill voids in you that it will never fill. These people will never fill the voids. You have to heal. You have to cure. These people are just simply temporary treatments. Temporary treatments. You bring people in your life, you have these vices or whatever your vice is. Whether you smoke, drink, have sex, party, turn up, you know, gamble, whatever your vice is, those are temporary satisfactions. That's not going to heal that emptiness that you feel inside. You have to address the root. You have to find a cure to your problem, not treat it. It don't matter. You can go have sex with this one, go have sex with that one. This person could tell you they love you all day. But for one, until you really love yourself, and until you accept God's love for you and let him show you, and just because, well, for me, when I tell you to let God in your life and to let God lead your life, it ain't to say it's going to be easy. When I say go on a healing journey, it ain't to say it's going to be easy. But it's worth it. It's going to cleanse your heart. It's going to, you know, you healed. This is how you'll know you're healed or on the road to healing, because you really will not have so much hate in your heart for the ones who have done you wrong. You won't have that much hate in your heart. Ain't no that much. You won't have any hate in your heart. I don't care. They may have did the most wicked thing to you, but you're going to have understanding. It's not to negate and take away from what they did to you. But you're going to understand that what they did to you had nothing really to do with you, more so to deal with the brokenness that was within them. And you won't have to feel like you got to be so bitter and seeking revenge and seeking to try to destroy that person, letting that Jezebel spirit, them demonic spirits you operate from, trying to destroy your ex, trying to destroy whoever it is that did it to you. But what you have to do is truly go through emotions, truly learn to be alone. It's sickening to see so many people. It's not just the women, because men too don't know how to be alone. You're scared of the thoughts that you have when you're alone. But you need to face those thoughts. You need to face them. I don't care what it is, face it. If it makes you feel bad, that means that's something that you need to address. Address it again and again and again, whether you address it to your therapist, whether you sit in your closet and just pray to God about it, whether you journal about it. You need to address it until it doesn't make you so uncomfortable. You'll get to a point where you're able to speak out about it, because that's part of your journey. Especially if you're a chosen one. If you're a black sheep, you have a calling. You're not chosen until you answer the call. And he needs you. He needs you to be bold, tell your story, be truthful with it, he needs you to truly be authentic, because being authentic is going to save yourself, and it's going to save many other souls. It's going to save many others. A lot of people are not walking in their purpose. And this is why I had mentioned the truth girl, because the girl don't even realize you're so busy trying to keep up and seek revenge on your husband that you're not even truly walking in your calling. Anybody who has been a victim of sexual abuse, especially, like, I'm going to address the men, because so many men, that's another reason why I had to, you know, God let that video pop up on my homepage just to confirm things that I already been saying about why he allows things to happen. And to, you know, what I be saying in my videos about how men go through it too. I know many. We don't even understand, like, some people really have been molested since they was an infant. I have another video that I'm gonna drop about it. I'm about to drop that video. It's been a couple weeks actually since I actually recorded that video. But when I seen a video about, man, these nasty people out here, that you really messing with infants. You're doing nasty stuff to infants. This is why some people don't realize why they're gay. They don't even probably remember them being molested. That spirit, if you are gay or know anyone that's gay, that spirit was put onto you, baby, because your innocence was stolen. Y'all gotta watch the Antichrist video I did. If y'all watched that video and y'all saw what Satan himself said, what his agenda is, how people have been led to gayness, I already knew that, because you have been molested. Most times, sometimes, I'm not gonna say most times it is by a man, but women do it too. So many men talk about how, that's why some men scared to go down on a woman once they are older, because they was forced to go down on a nasty, funky fish coochie auntie, grandma, babysitter, mama. The movie Precious, all these movies that be out, there's truth to many of these movies. They don't get these ideas from nowhere. They don't get these storylines from nowhere. This is real life stuff, but because some of the stuff seems so absurd, it seems so unreal that you think it's just fairy tale. You think it's fiction. No, it's very much nonfiction. It's very much real. It very much has happened to someone. It might not have happened to you. That's why I would never put nothing past nobody, because it is some wickedness out here. The enemy is nasty and perverted, and he wants to pervert everything and everyone else and bring them in to increase the perversion to go against God and his will for us. God ain't called nobody to be gay. But what God will do is, because he knows what happened, he saw it. He saw it. And this is why I'm not ever going to be one to ostracize the gay community, because for one, they have they're bad, they have a spirit on them that they have to rebuke and cast up out of them. They have to allow God to cleanse that spirit up off of them. And it's possible, but you have to be a willing participant, and he will convict you. He will convict you in due time. But he's going to let you go through. One thing about God, he's going to let you go through the motions. He'll let you go through the motions. He'll let you think you know, doing this and having all this free will and all of this. Because for one, it's to build up your story. For when you do finally turn that pain into purpose, when you finally turn that pain into purpose, it's for you to have a story, for you to have a testimony, for you to show how you was triumphant in that situation that was meant to break you, how you recovered, how once again he's able to get the glory, because everything is about God getting the glory. Satan think he be getting people all off their narrow path, but he don't even know God will allow it. Go ahead, I'm gonna sit back and let you do it. Go ahead, because once again, I'm going to show you that I am that I am. I am the Alpha, the Omega, and everything. I will get the glory in everything. So you will see how real I am. You will see how this person was broke, busted, disgusted, homeless, living on the street, stripping, homophobic, homosexual. You will see how they did all this nasty stuff. Pedophilia. You will see how how I turned this person from that to this. I'm going to get the glory for their story. So he'll let things play out. He'll let things play out. Because it's to, one, get you to a position so that you can now walk in your purpose. If I would have never went through all the things I went through, I wouldn't be up here talking the stuff I talk about. I'm now walking in my purpose. You know, he got me on several missions, and I'm going to answer them all. I'm on all of them. I got to stay focused on all of them. But my number one thing is truly protecting the kids, protecting the innocence of the kids, because it's sickening. It's sickening. And this is why I encourage ladies, stop being desperate. Men, stop being desperate. Stop being desperate for love. Because men think, you know, even the gay guys, my cousin is dead. Both my cousins is dead because of their gay partners. You know, God rest their soul. I miss my babies so much, especially my favorite cousin, Mitz. I really miss him so, so much. It's this one guy I follow on Instagram that remind me so much of my cousin. And I think that's why I gravitate to him, because he remind me so much of my cousin. I miss my cousin so much. Ari, why are you eating that? You know, but my cousin was gay, and my cousin was, you know, a black sheep. Now that I'm in my purpose, and this is another reason why I have to do this, because I'm doing it for him. Like, I'm doing it for him. Like, I'm really doing it for my baby. Like, they really shot my baby up 26 times, bruh. The hate that was on him, for him being who he was. But when these gay guys is dating down low guys, and it's funny, this was right before Obama got into office and legalized it. And I say it all the time. I'm like, it's funny how my cousin was out here boldly walking in his gayness. Like, he was bold with his stuff. It wasn't like he was just, you know, extra or nothing. But he was that. He's so cute. Like, my cousin's cute. Like, he was well known. He was well known. I don't even know if a lot of people knew he was. I don't know if people knew he was. You know. If you know, you know. Like, you know. But with him, too, molested at a very young age, because you got a mama that sent you here, sent you there, let anybody keep you. Not having protection over your children. And even sometimes when you do think your children is in a safe place, a lot of times it be people that we trust that do that stuff to our children. When you gotta work, when you doing this, you know, you thought you had them with somebody safe, and they took advantage of that. But sometimes they see these predators, they're very strategic. They're very strategic, and they'll see, they pay attention. They pay attention to any mom or dad, but especially a mom, period. If they see that you have negligent, neglectful parents, you're an easy target. Your children are an easy target, because they see, oh, you don't care about them kids that much. If they see that you press to fill a role for them, this is why so many of these stepdads come in, or any father figure, stop. Because you got church members and all of that stuff who come in, you know, in these boy youth groups, and they get to messing with all the kids, because the person's supposed to be mentoring them, the person's supposed to be leading them, the person's supposed to be showing them the way, is the one who now takes advantage of them, because they know they lack that father figure. Because they know that there's no dad who really cares. There's no dad in the house to protect the kids. And if there's no one there to protect the kids, okay, it's a green light, it's a go to carry out their agenda. You know, because they be letting the enemy use them. This is why you gotta make sure you're not letting the enemy use you. This is why you gotta clear your heart. You gotta pray. You gotta get close with God. You gotta fast. You gotta get rid of the toxic ways that you have. You have to clear your portals. You have to be mindful of what you consume. You have to be mindful of the people that you're around. You have to be mindful. Be mindful. Because when you're not, the enemy gonna slip right in. And 9 times out of 10, when the enemy get in is when you're weak and when you're vulnerable. But when you're weak and vulnerable, that's when the enemy get in. Look at most situations, like this girl situation. You vulnerable because you're going through a breakup, you're going through a divorce with your husband, you're going through a divorce with your wife, you're going through... Those are the times when the enemy slipped right in because he acts like an angel of light coming in to save your day. Meanwhile, he's preying on that same vulnerability. The children are the weakest, the most vulnerable. It's easy to manipulate them. Women, this is why we definitely get tricked, because it's easy to manipulate us. This gateway here, we need to have blocks on this gateway and be mindful of what we're taking in through this gateway, because this gateway is the reason many of the things that I'm talking about has happened, because you let a man come in and whisper sweet empty nothings in your ear. Oh, he wants to be the father for your kids because they don't have a dad. Oh, she wants to be that mother because your kids don't have their mom, or she want to play like stepmom, and now she coming in destroying your kids because she finessed you. He finessed you. Now they're able to take toll on the kids because your gateways, you didn't have them cherubims with their fiery swords blocking your gateways. You need to pray for that every day. God, protect my gateways. That's what you need to be praying for. To protect your children's gateways. Protect your children's portals. Okay? Keep your fiery swords at the entrances of my children's portals. Don't let no enemy, no devil in hell enter the kingdom of my child. Period. Don't let them. Because the kids are the most vulnerable. They're weak and they're vulnerable. And that's when the enemy, that's why the enemy goes after the weak and vulnerable, because he's weak himself. Like, he's the counterfeit. He's a sucker. He get in where he fit in. This is why you got to keep your stuff shut, bolted, locked, closed. You got to be sharp. You need to have mental sharpness. You need to know how to master the art of manipulation, so you know when you're being manipulated and know when to manipulate the enemy right on back and get them up out of there. Because they're after the children. Because the children are the weakest vessel. Women are a weaker vessel, and the children right after. The children right after. And this is why they know how to come right in and deceive mothers, especially single mothers, because they think you're more of a target for these type of people. You're more of a target for predators. You're more of a target for these people because they think, and most single women and most single mothers are desperate for love, are desperate for anybody who would show love to her and her children, you know. And then that's you opening a door. That's why I say you will open the door for the devil to come in your house and wreak havoc and destroy you and your children. Look at how many, look around you. You might be in that situation, or you know somebody who have. Because if the devil can get to you, oh, you best believe he gonna get to your kids. I told y'all this in that Krishan video months back, how one devil came in and destroyed a whole family of 13. One devil. Her mama got 12 kids. The stepdad ruined, well, Krishan's dad ruined 12 children plus the mother. That's 13 souls that he ruined. But because he was able to ruin the mother, beat her up, tear her to pieces. But one thing about it, her mama still know God. Like, her faith in God, she instilled God in her children. And one thing about that, I respect that lady alone for that. But you ain't listen to the God within you. You ain't listen. And because you ain't listen, because you love, stop, Ari. Because we'll sit around and love a man more than we love God. You'll love a woman. You'll love booty more than you love God. And when you do that, you do yourself a disservice and you do your children a disservice, because now the devil is able to wreak havoc God gotta be at the forefront. He gotta be first, because if he's not, then that means the enemy can get in so easily. So easily. One man, one demonic spirit came in, destroyed the mother, and destroyed all her children. Molested the oldest sister, which will be his stepdaughter. And all the other kids. Look at Krishan. She's messed up. Broken. The stuff that's come out about in their family. I was talking about this months and months ago. So if y'all was watching those videos back then you know. But if not, y'all gonna have to go back and watch some of those videos where I was talking about that stuff. Because it's serious. And because of him, and honestly, what was even done to him and his sister, what their father did to it was a mess. So many of these dads be out here raping their own daughters, getting them pregnant, raping their sons, molesting their sons. It's just, but once again, it was done to them. And then it was done to them. And it was done to them. It's like it has been passed on. It has been passed on until somebody breaks that curse. All of the toxic behaviors, all of the generational curses, it gets passed on and passed on and passed on until somebody breaks the curse. And God oftentimes calls the chosen ones. This is why, okay, this generation to have a black sheep. Let's see if this black sheep would do her mission. Like I say, my mom, she was supposed to be the one to break the curses. She was supposed to be, you can tell. But she got mad at God and turned away from God. And this is why when you go through things, the last thing you want to do is let the enemy convince you that God is not for you anymore because of what has happened to you. That's a trick of the enemy. God's still for you. There's things that he needs you to do, though. God is not easily moved. He's not easily moved by your tears. He's not easily moved by your suffering. He's going to allow you to suffer because he knows what it's going to build in you. It's going to build strength, endurance, courage, bravery. It's going to build you to be the woman or man he called you here to be. It's going to build that in you. So no, he's not going to easily remove you away from suffering, because the suffering, the getting down in the gutter, in the trenches with it, that's what's going to build you up. That's where you're going to get all your character, your wisdom. That experience is going to give you all of that. That's what's going to give it to you. I'm living it. That's what's going to give it to you. For you to get up and lead the rest of his clan, to lead the tribes, to lead them out of slavery, to lead them out of bondage, mental bondage, spiritual bondage. It's going to lead them. You know, some of our parents were also black sheep scapegoats. And they took that on, and instead of breaking the curse, they just passed it on. This is why if you were the outcast, you have to break the curse, man. You have to break it, or else, it's because it's a karmic cycle. The way this thing go, recycle. Everything is recycled. It's going to go on and on until somebody has to break that karmic cycle. You have to break it. You have to break it. And it's on you as the chosen one, as the black sheep scapegoat of the family. It's on you to break those curses. God is giving you the assignment. You have to answer the call and break it. You have to break it. But you first got to go on your journey. You got to go in isolation. You got to really connect with God. You got to fast. You got to pray. You got to ask God to help get rid of some of those strongholds. Break those strongholds that you have. Break those soul ties for people that you feel like you can't live without. Don't ever tell yourself, because you're further connecting the stronghold when you tell yourself, I can't leave this person. I can't do it. Can't should never be in your vocabulary, because you can do anything. You can do anything when God gives you the strength to. And you have the strength. You just worried about what society gonna say, worried about all the thoughts that the enemy will put in your head. Oh, they're gonna say you're a single mother. Oh, they're gonna say you're a disguise to the family. They're gonna say that you're all the things that go through our heads. You know, the same thing society try to bash us for now. That's why I say I'm a rebel to society. But this video has gotten long, you guys. So I'm going to wrap it up here. But protect your children and heal. You need to go on a healing journey. Spiritual healing. Everybody may not can afford therapy, but God is free. It's free to go to God. Get in your prayer closet. Get you your prayer journal. Start writing. Start talking to God every day. Build that connection with him. Pray several times throughout the day. Fast. Go on a fast. Some of y'all need to go on a social media fast. You're too distracted. That eye gate of yours is too distracted with too much BS. You can't even focus. You can't focus on what you need to do. You can't focus on even hearing God because you got too many distractions amongst you. Too many distractions. But this is real, you guys. We need healing because all we doing is passing on toxicity to our children under the disguise of love. It's not love. That's pain. That's how people really be believing. They really be getting tatted. Love is pain. No, the hell it's not. That's what you received as love. You were taught that love is pain. Love ain't pain. Love ain't pain. So, do the work. Do the work. Do the work. It's hard. It's not easy going back down memory lane. But a lot of us already be down memory lane. You can't get out the past. Most people who have a victim mentality, you so stuck in the past that you can't even come up out of it. Your mind is still stuck back in the 8-year-old, 15-year-old. You're still stuck back then. Your mind hasn't even caught up to the present day time. You got to catch up and process that stuff and catch up to where you should be now, mentally, spiritually. Because you need to turn that pain, go from victim. You need to be going from victim to survivor and not just stop there. You don't want to just stop there. Victim to survivor to thriver. You're not just a survivor. You wasn't a victim, even though in all actuality you were a victim. But you don't want to have victim mentality. You want to go from victim to survivor. You survived that abuse. You survived all the trauma. You survived it. You're still here. You're still waking up. You survived it. You damaged. You broken. You a little jaded. You messed up, but you survived it. But we don't want to stay there either. We don't want to stay there either. Because when you stay in survival mode, you still sometimes accept BS. Not sometimes, you still accept BS. You still got a lot of traits of victim. You still people pleasing a little. You still, because you're survivor, you still got these spirits on you. You go into thriver mode when you releasing the bondage, releasing them strongholds, when you release those ties of the past, when you have forgiveness. You'll know when you're in a thriver state of mentality, like I said earlier, is when you have a heart of forgiveness. Doesn't mean reconciliation. Doesn't mean you need to be buddy-buddy with them folks again. That ain't what that means. You need to be able to be to a point where you can address them if necessary. Let them know how they made you feel. And even if you never say it to them, if you just write it out, you get to a point where you might still cry sometimes, but it's not so painful, you know. It gets to a point where you actually become appreciative for what you went through. As hard as that might sound, because some stuff be like so wicked, it's like, nah, I will never appreciate them doing that wicked stuff to me. Because it's the state of mind you still in. You might still be in victim mentality. You might still be in survivor mentality. But when you get to thriver, you are walking full on in your purpose. You have started whatever support group you're walking in your calling. You're doing your YouTube videos. You've written your books. You passing them out. You going to schools to talk to the young kids, talk to the youth, go to rehab centers, depending on whatever your calling is. You're starting building your community for that. Some way, somehow, you're incorporating your pain into helping another person avoid that. Helping the youth, giving back, you starting charities. That's when you know you're into thriver mode. When you're giving back and when you have learned to clear up your heart. Your heart is small, baby. You don't have a lot of space in there to hold on to hurt and pain of the past. You don't have the space and capacity to hold on to so much hate for the people that have done you wrong, because you need to make room for the ones that you have in your current life that you do love. Even if that love is just strictly your newfound career, your newfound venture, you need to love that. That's your new baby. That's your new baby. I know for me, my purpose, me wanting to, you know, all the plans that I had for the youth, all like my goals, that's my new baby. That's my baby. That's my love. I'm here to work on my mission. I'm not here to focus on all that other stuff. Like, I really have purpose. That's my baby. I'm pouring all my pain into that. And through this journey, that's what I'm saying. It's like, there's still things that, of course, like, I just can't believe about my family and exes and all of that stuff. And even about myself, some of the things that I've done. But when you get into thriver mode, you learn to forgive yourself. You learn to forgive them. Give yourself grace. Give them a little grace. Because they was messed up too. It's not to mean that you got to be friends with them again. It's not to mean that you got to talk to them ever again. It ain't none of that. But you're not walking around with so much hate. You know, you still might pop a little jokey joke every now and then. Because I definitely do, like, because some stuff I just be like, who's a clown? Like, I just be like, you really did that. You're a clown, but it's cool. I don't hate you. I don't hate you. But you would never be able to get access to me. You can't come in this space of peace that I created for myself, baby. You can't get in on this, man. You can't get in on this. I got my cherubims is surrounding my home, surrounding my gateways. You cannot destroy my peace. I worked hard for this. And I ain't gonna let nobody destroy it. Nope. Especially when I can see it now. I'm really heightened in my discernment. I'm heightened in it. I've learned to truly listen. I ain't letting you I can see. And if I can see that you ain't where I need you to be to enter my life, you can't come in, baby. You can't come in. The door is closed. But this video done got so long. But I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm wishing y'all nothing but peace, love, prosperity, healing. God bless y'all. God bless your children if you have them. If you don't have them, God bless your future children, because you need to heal before you bring them into the world. And even if they already here, do the work so that you don't pass on that trauma to them. So that you don't let the enemy in to deceive them too. You know? So I'll see you on the next video. Deuces.